what we're gonna do is, she talked to me night before last and said they just got these beautiful pork loin chops and they saw some big meat. Isn't that what you call it? Big meat?
I said big porky pigs.
Big porky pigs. She went back to the store and got them. I said, you can save sometimes up to $1 or more a pound going from this to this. And we can make these right here in about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna put these back in the fridge so they don't go bad. And I'm gonna show you how to break down a pork loin. Now we're not gonna make pork loin chops out of the whole thing. We're gonna actually make chops and we're gonna do a couple roasts. In fact, one of them, you said you need a 5-pound roast?
I do.
Okay, so
mine.
this is an 8-pound pork loin. When you break it open, you wanna do it in the sink because there are some juices that have built up in here. And I've already cleaned the sink out. I'm gonna take it out of the package, let the juices in here. A lot of people say you shouldn't wash it because you splatter the juice around and can contaminate. But as long as it's on low, I just want to get some of this off because I'm going to be working over here on the counter and I don't want a lot of the juices there. So just rinse it off, get some of the water off. And my cutting board, well, Diane's cutting board isn't large enough for this. So we're going to actually cut it down in half already because we need a 5-pound. So I'm going to take half of it off already. And then we'll just cut that remainder into pork loin chops. You're not going to take the fat off because when you're cooking it, that's where your flavor's at. So as you see, we got 2 different sizes here. This is going to be our pork loin roast that she can use for whatever she's going to be making with it. You are going to want to wash your hands at this point because all that moisture is going to lose contact with the knife. So you remember those pork loin chops we had? Basically all you have to do is decide what size you want. If you're going to be doing them like in an Instant Pot or sous vide, something like that, slow cook, you can use the thicker cut. A lot of people don't like to have thick pork chops, they like to fry them. When I fry my pork chops, I like them nice and thin. So I fry those with the pinto beans and cornbread.
You could probably stuff them, right?
Yeah, actually, if you're going to do that, I can show you on one of them here. We'll do that. But there's the same pork loin chop that you just had in that package, and you can save basically about $1 a pound just doing this yourself. All you need is a plastic cutting board. You don't want to use wood because the moisture will get down into the wood and contaminate it. And you want to use a nice sharp knife. So we got about 1 inch, 1.5 inch pork loin chops here. Now, if we're gonna do it like she had mentioned, stuffing them, we're just gonna do an extra cut down the center here. We're just gonna slice it open a little bit and then take a smaller knife and you just make a pocket in here that you can stuff the meat into, or this whatever stuffing you use. I like to use sausage, apple, bacon, and you're just gonna make a little pocket here. And as you can see, open it up, you can stuff your meat in there, put it back together, put a couple toothpicks, put that in the oven and roast it, or in the pressure cooker, and you have a nice little stuffed pork chop. But I think there were 6 pork chops in that one. This one, just with half of it, we got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna get about 10 or 11 out of it. I usually would save this part here and do a second roast that I could use pulled pork. You can either do it slow in the slow cooker or you can do it in an Instant Pot, and then you got pulled pork. So this one pork loin that basically was about $11, you got probably 3 meals of pork chops, you have another meal of a pork roast, and you can do a pulled pork. So you have enough meat for like 7, 8 meals.
So is that Diane's or is that mine?
This one could be either one. I'm gonna cut, if you need this one, actually I'll let this one be Diane. Diane, do you want the pork loin roast?
Why don't you just use some of that for the pulled pork? You don't have to cut it into more chops or whatever you want to do.
Well, are you gonna do a pork roast? Okay, so we'll cut the pork roast in half, and you can use that for the pulled pork, and we'll cut the rest of them into chops. Individually freeze these, and you take them out, and you've got instant meal. Don't have to be as fancy since we're going to use it for pulled pork. Like I said, leave the fat on because that's where the flavor is going to be coming from. Because pork is naturally a very dry white meat. So you want to cook it long and slow to break it down and let all this, you just see the little fat through there. That's going to help tenderize and also moisturize your meat. Actually, we're going to leave it about that. That's probably about a 2-pound roast. And put this in the pressure cooker. If you do it in the pressure cooker, you can do it for about 45 minutes to an hour. And it's going to just fall apart, fork tender. Or you can do it in the slow cooker and just put it on in the morning, let it cook 4 hours on high, or if you want to do it even longer, do it 6 hours on low, and it'll be fork tender as well. So that's easy, how you break down. It was $11 for this. I think that package for probably just this amount of pork was $6, and you still have all this extra here. So it's better to buy it when it's on sale and break it down yourself. All right. I'll see you soon. Take care.